Mistletoe is everywhere.
I'm Ron.
Christmas lights and Christmas fair.
And I'm John.
Presents under every tree.
And I'm Paul. And he's Eric. And you're all welcome to our first festive podcast here on Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Mistletoe is everywhere. Christmas lights and Christmas fair. Presents under every tree. But that won't mean a thing to me.
That was one of my own Christmas singles from a couple of years ago to help get us all in the festive spirit here on Riverport Radio. You can hear a full version of the song later in the podcast. So let's get on with the show. Ron, what do we have lined up for today's podcast?
Hi Paul. In this week's programme we're going to be covering some of the news items affecting St Ives and having a chat with Michael and Sam Purchase about their fantastic new Whisky Cafe.
And later on we'll be talking to Matthew Setchell about the local flooding issues in and around St Ives. Plus I'll be catching up with some of the team who work at the Whisky Cafe. You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
We are recording today's episode in St Ives' newest venue, the Whisky Cafe, and we are with Sam and Michael Purchase. Thanks for having us here. Yeah, good morning, good morning. We've obviously got a few questions to ask, but I mean, it looks like it's going quite well. We'll get onto that in a minute. But before we do that, I mean, you seem to have done a lovely job.
Oh, thank you.
Well, your wife has done a lovely job, actually, hasn't she?
The interior design.
The interior design, it's absolutely fabulous, But as you know, this is our audio version of the Riverporter, and when we first started this, the Robin Hood had been closed for a little while.
Just a while, yes.
And we were pretty cruel, actually, in our normal manner of turning it into cartoons. But I have to say, Michael, you came up to me one day and said you actually enjoyed the cartoons.
I love them.
I'm going to say I enjoyed them as well. I found them. I find them really entertaining.
We go down to the shoe man down there.
That's right.
And just used to chat about them, and they were amazing. They were quite comical.
We had some quite funny ones, didn't we? Yeah. But I mean, obviously behind that was the fact that it was taking so long. So, Michael, why did it take so long?
Money, probably, but there you go. No, we opened it for a short while and it didn't work, basically. Never mind that people say, oh, it's amazing and everything. In its day it was, but people never used it in its latter stages, therefore it was just falling apart.
This is the Robin Hood. Well, it was the Robin Hood,
yeah. And we closed it because we were going to do an immediate refurbishment. We thought, just a facelift and that sort of thing. And then we found out that this was had a lot more hidden in the structure of it. In other words, a 15th century framework which wasn't apparent at the very beginning because it was covered up so well with plasterboard and botched building work. And also a half of the roof was collapsing. It was all breaking and falling in. And so then you start the process of trying to work with listed building people and the planning department. And anyone that's dealt with HDC would know what that involves.
It takes a while, doesn't it, unfortunately?
Just a while, yeah. I think with us, when we did embark on going for a hard planning application, it took 3 years, I think, from start to finish.
Really?
And the bulk of it wasn't really anything to do with a listed building. It was an extension that we decided to put on the back.
Yes.
We almost the hoops, wasn't it? Going the hoops, the flood risk assessment, the bat survey, everything, wasn't it?
Everything you could think of.
Doing the archaeological dig after being not told we had to do an archaeological dig, so we had a massive, great big hole in.
Did they find anything?
I'll tell you that in a minute. 2 years in, the planning officer at the time said, "Oh, everything's sorted, Mike. We're going to pass it upstairs for signature." We didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks, which is normal for the planning department. You don't really hear anything. You can send emails, it's a waste of time really, but they don't reply to them other than "I'm sorry." That's standard.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Then we did finally get an email. It said, your previous case officer has been taken off this and you've got a new case officer. The new case officer says, I'm not totally happy about everything that's been approved on this. By the way, he was an agency planner.
Right.
You know, why not have your local planners? Just call it an agency.
Yeah.
So there we go. As Sammy said, a year later, archaeological dig later, etc., etc. The same application was passed, but it cost us a year of delay plus a year of huge expense because everything was going mad.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Archaeological. Yes, tell me.
We found some very interesting Roman soil.
So you didn't find Robin and Little John then? Which I was hoping.
I was hoping that we'd find something.
Toad staff or something. Robin Hood's bow and arrow. No, it didn't happen.
It was Roman soil. And I said, well, that's a bit unusual, being it was a Roman settlement. We found some sheep bones, and we are in the sheep market afterwards. So it was really, end of a find. Okay. 5 or 6 grand later, you know. Thank you very much.
But anyway, I suppose at this stage, when now you're open, it's nice to know that actually, although it's been a long delay, it seems to be worth it. You've done a really good job on it, haven't you?
Thank you.
And Sam, it's your first venture.
It is.
So how has it been for you?
It's been fantastic.
You've still got hair, by the way.
I've still got some hair. It's a lot more grey now, though. But I'm still grey anyway. But I've loved it. I know I have loved it. It's been an incredible adventure. It was a huge amount of work, and I can honestly say that despite the amount of work I've done, I wouldn't be here without the team. Because I'm very lucky to have the team. I have the front of house team, the kitchen team. They've all been incredible. And one other person that I definitely want to bring it out to is Dean.
Right.
Dean Hayward.
Yeah.
From Lifelong Builders for helping build this fantastic building.
So you say the best bricklayer in England.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
He got radio coverage for his rear gable end circle, which then through my marketing agency we designed into our branding logo.
Oh right.
The two icons for the Whisky Cafe are the beams, which represent the upstairs 15th century beams, and Dean Hayward's brickwork at the rear, the circular gable end.
So
why
did you change it to a Whisky Cafe then?
Okay, so that's a whole story in itself, the whole backstory to the name, the Whisky Cafe, and sort of what we're about. It's to do partially with my working history. I was working at Pernod Ricard, which is the world's second largest spirit company. Right. I was in their whiskey division for Ballantine's, which is in their Chivas program, and I was one of the brand ambassadors. Right. So I had the rather fun job in France of going around venue to venue, working with everything from nightclubs, hotels, restaurants and bars, and I was running a marketing campaign. So I worked with these different venues to create different sort of drinks and spirits and like mixers and cocktails for a new product that was launching. Right. And I had an incredible time out there. Learned a huge amount about whiskey. Did my training up in Scotland thanks to the Pernod Ricard team. Learned loads about it. And then it sort of that kind of built like a foundation for what could be like a DNA for like an exciting restaurant concept that was totally and utterly different from the Robin Hood and a pub environment. It was all about sort of completely wiping the slate clean, coming up with a fresh new idea, and marrying sort of like the bar, like an exciting array of spirits with a delicious food off.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Because what you seem to have built here is a sort of cafe culture and a restaurant in one building. So the restaurant is more upstairs, and
it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, I would like to highlight. I mean, we're not like a coffee house.
No.
Obviously, the name, the Whisky Cafe, or the cafe bit is just a cachet, a modern cachet, if you like. We, but yes, no, we pride ourselves on the food and the drink side of it. And we've got that beautiful upstairs dining area, and then the modern sort of new bit, which is the garden room. So we're very lucky to have that contrast in here in the building.
And it seems to have gone quite well. I mean, we've seen quite a few nice comments online, but also our little team here, we're going to have our Christmas soiree here on Friday and we couldn't get in, you were fully booked. So we've gone to Thursday, but that's a good sign, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
I mean, obviously before Christmas it's useful.
The website, because we in the run-up, we just had so much to do in the run-up to when we first opened. One of the things that my branding team were going hell for leather on was the website, and I had to get Res Diary sorted on my own. I've never used Res Diary before, and it was crazy. There's like a million settings on it, and so when I first literally got it set up, obviously the floodgates opened, and everyone just packed out the Friday and Saturday. So I've had to sort of amend it a little bit, but it's a
different world, isn't it? You don't have to go out and put big posters up anywhere anymore. You can go online and you can reach thousands, can't you? Which is great. Yeah,
it's a very easy process.
Yeah. But the name Whisky Cafe is in that genre, as it were, modern, as opposed to the Robin Hood, which I'll tell you a little story about the Robin Hood. I used to do work for. Do you remember the guy who used to have the video shop in town? Lived in Hemmingford. The second biggest video company in the country. I can't remember the name of it now. And he decided that he had video shops all around the country, and he was going to put next to his video shops a little cafe stroke restaurant, because he thought when people go and hire the video, they can also get the popcorn and all those sorts of things. And the first one was going to be in Ashby de la Zouche for some reason. I had to go there for a place. Anyway, he wanted to call it Friar Tuck's for some reason. I did try to persuade him that could be misconstrued, quite often. I think it lasted 6 months actually, but there you go. And he was very old-fashioned. He wanted old-fashioned decor. He wanted it to be, like the Robin Hood, if you like. He hadn't got it right at all. But there you go.
So you've got a huge advantage in as much as you're probably one of the only properties actually on the Market Hill here with your own car parking at the back, which is, I think a lot of people will think that's really good.
Well, I don't know, because there's so much car parking in town. It's not such a big deal really. The car park's only 100 metres away, well, the town is just a big car park at the moment.
It is. Well, you're only about two.
I think something needs to be done. It's crazy.
Well, in theory, next year the district council may be taking over the parking, and there'll be traffic wardens, and you won't be able to park here without getting a ticket.
Well, it'll make the town much more pedestrian and give it more of that cafe culture, which I think.
But the district have been promising that for about 2 years now. So.
I think it'd be nice when it does that. But just to come back to the car park, as you come in from the back there, you've got that lovely terrace. Have you got plans for that for the summer, perhaps?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we are absolutely going to get all the furniture out there.
Nice piece there.
Open up the Juliet door, the doors there. I'm going to have a lovely patio area out there.
As you said, that nice brickwork and things. That's going to be a nice place to sit out there.
Will dogs be allowed in your back garden?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, right. Okay.
Sorry, John.
I just
thought you couldn't get booked up.
I did want to bring the dog.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
No, so the big question then is, we've got the Riverport Jazz and Blues Festival in September.
Yes.
I haven't booked you a slot in there, but will you be likely to want a band playing?
Potentially.
Because he has got the whiskey room.
Yes, I know, it was on my radar about that. Yes, I am absolutely interested in doing something with it. But can you bear with me at the minute? Just
of course. A million
things going off at the minute. But yes,
I can add something in. I just can't take away. The programme is nearly full, but an extra one can always be fitted in.
I'll come back to big.
You have to pay for the band, of course, but that's by the by.
Yes, of course. He's careful.
No, I knew
that. We do bring about 5,000 people to the town.
Yes, I know. I know it's a very popular thing. And I do want to be part of it, but I couldn't have reached out to you before.
No. I understand that. Because you've only just opened. Yeah.
And that's in September, isn't it?
September, yeah.
You haven't really brushed on the adult-only teenager plus dogs venue.
No, well, I only mentioned the dogs because I thought you might allow someone to come in the back garden, coming in the back way to the dog. But what about the teenager thing then? I mean,
so
under 16.
Yes, so no, it's no under 13. So
no under 13.
So I knew this was going to upset some people, but also make other people happy. And it was something that we thought about, like within the vision and within the concept. What kind of what is our target audience? Bearing in mind, here in the town, you've got the Ivor Lounge, you've got the Golden Lion, you've got a plethora of the pubs around Cambridge. They're obviously all very child friendly and very family orientated. We thought, well, seeing as we're wiping the slate clean, we're doing something totally different. Let's focus on our target audience, and we felt that really it would be from 13s onwards that would be interested in kind of this dining experience, if you like. It's not about alienating children, it's about protecting the environment here as an adult environment.
I can see the advantages. You haven't got to have high chairs, you haven't got to have all sorts of other things that go with having whole families coming.
Yeah,
so
it's about food fights and things.
The children running about.
Exactly.
So we thought very carefully about what people wanted from this, the cocktails, the intimate sort of relaxed dining experience, and coming and treating yourself. So we just felt that it kind of married with it. The no dogs and the
time will tell.
Kind of helped to sort of.
Time will tell if it works, and you're
yes, absolutely.
That's great, isn't it? Yeah.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Someone put some furniture there the other day, didn't they? Near where you are.
Yes.
A settee or something.
Yeah, we had a sofa. Well, we actually had a homeless person sleeping on it, which shocked our little Eric. Very, because little Eric actually wandered up to the sofa and thought, "What's this?" I'll have a sniff, and of course it moved. Eric was on his way home in just like a millisecond. That was it. Sofas are not meant to suddenly move.
Wasn't there another incident there where a car actually drove onto the sofa?
Oh yes,
yes. The front end was off of it, wasn't it?
We came back home one evening and we park ourselves around the back there. And thought, what's that red car? Like a jaunty little angle at the end there. And we thought initially that it had actually run into the posts, into the bollards. It was definitely stolen, and the front of the car was all pushed in. But then whoever done it had obviously gone in, smashed the car, and reversed back over the sofa, and then couldn't actually get off of the sofa. So they actually just abandoned the car and left it there.
Was the bloke still sleeping on the sofa at the time?
Unfortunately, he wasn't sleeping there. It was just a bizarre sight as you walked past him. We just thought, whatever's happened? So that little corner around the back there. But we're having a few traffic troubles again here, aren't we? Because we've had issues now. Several people have reported cars going around the quadrant in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I have actually recognised that. I've seen that happen, which wasn't some sort of racer. It was,
I think yesterday
elderly
morning,
couple just sort of set off in the wrong direction. But that's a seriously dangerous thing to be doing, because the corners are blind and you wouldn't see it coming.
Well, on the way here this morning, I took a picture of the house that was run into. I mean, the poor house obviously was doing nothing but standing there, and the car has run into it and knocked the gable front off, and it's got props holding the roof up.
Was that a police chase thing? It was.
Was it a police chase? They think so. They think it was a stolen car and they were chasing it.
Yeah, we think so. We don't know. That's the word on the street.
Well, the police didn't answer this morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. I did ring them, but they haven't responded yet to get the proper story for this week's paper. But hopefully we'll get all the details.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Now, John, talking about sort of strange issues, what do you know about the St Ives rooftop runners?
Well, I saw this on the Hunt's Post. I couldn't believe it. That apparently there was a picture of a policeman and I presume a councillor or someone putting a sign up, banning rooftop runners. Now, it's not the sort of thing you would normally see a sign to ban. And I thought, what's going on? And apparently in St Ives, there are people who climb over the roofs. Not the roofs of cars, the roofs of the houses and the buildings. And it's become such a big blight, they've had to put up this no rooftop running in this area sign. I mean, you can write that, could you? I mean, that's definitely made it up.
You should ask Sammy about his brother if you're talking about rooftop.
This is really tickling me. This
is it?
My brother
Come on,
own up. Got caught running along the rooftop of our school. Literally going,
on Sunday evening.
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, he got.
This wasn't the
He got caught running literally from end to end of our art barn.
It's a bars apparently,
Yeah.
so he says.
It's a bars, yeah.
You leap from roof to roof, you leap to fame.
Tell him to go to St Ives, then it's obviously where they're all.
We've started a trend.
Do we want them in St Ives? I don't suppose you want them over your roof, do you? Now you've spent all the money.
No, it wouldn't be interesting enough for them. They'd like it a bit harder.
Yeah,
we have trouble with pigeons, but this is a whole new level.
Yeah. So for once, St Ives come up with a funny story, which is quite good.
I can see a cartoon coming on there, Ronnie.
I can see something coming along there. Yeah.
So I think we ought to just mention. What do you think, Eric? I think we ought to mention the Santa arriving soon.
Yes,
because we got the flooding. At the moment, the river's back up again. I noticed yesterday it had broken the bank at the quay again.
Yes, it's up again, and the actual flow on the water's quite fast.
Yeah.
So when Santa arrives, it could be either a very brief visit, or he could be arriving in Needingworth.
I think Fest, who organised this, are planning that he will walk across the bridge if he can't get the boat. If the river's too high.
Probably, I think they had the same trouble last year. It was running fast last year.
Yeah, and that's.
Are you going to have a celebrity this year, like a few years ago?
What for? What you mean?
Santa.
You mean the Santa we can't mention?
Go on,
the swearing Santa.
But it was amazing for the promotion.
It was. There's a certain person who would not be happy to hear this, but yes, it was. It put St Ives Santas on the map, didn't it? Really, for a period. Yeah. An unfortunate
chef will
incident.
soon be looking for work if you fancy employing him for that guest appearance.
So I mean, it all resolved. It was about the disco downstairs had a smoke machine, and the Santa upstairs thought the place was on fire. To be fair to him, he did think everybody ought to get out of the building very quickly. So they weren't responding to his normal comments. So yes, the language got a bit choice, but very funny incident, really. Anyway, so the good thing about Santa arriving is that they go down into the corn exchange, as you know, and for the weekend they've got a big snow globe which kids can go in. It's only £2 and you can go in and enjoy the fun.
Good, yeah.
And every child that sees Santa, which is free to see, you get a free gift. So it's something that's been going on for the last sort of 10 years or so, and it's another thing that St Ives does well.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
So, Sam, what have you got plans coming up with the Christmas festivities and the New Year and so on over the next month?
So we're getting all festive here now. The Whisky Cafe will decked out for Christmas. We are actually closed Christmas Day and Boxing Day, but for the Christmas menu, we've swapped over the crispy brook chicken now for the festive turkey, and we're also going to be adding in some Christmas specials on the menu. Then obviously, like I said, we'll be closed Christmas Day and Boxing Day, but then we'll be back open again on the 27th, and then we'll be doing the New Year's Eve special as well.
Excellent.
In the new year, we're going to release our calendar of events, and we've got like a whole project that's going to be our distillery barn, our distillery room at the rear. So next year, I'll be working with the team here, and we're going to be starting doing all sorts of different tastings. So wine tastings, we're going to be doing some whiskey tastings. We'll do some like cocktail training sessions as well. So a lot of stuff to look forward to in the new year.
Excellent. And this is the room at the
yes,
back by the courtyard.
You say the distillery, you're not actually going to be distilling stuff.
Well, actually, we will look to be doing this actually, because I wasn't going to say it straight away, but yes, I am looking into one of the projects I do want to do is your own distilling session.
Right.
So this isn't a brand new concept.
Whiskies, gins?
Gins, but because
Gins,
the process of doing whiskey from end to end is too long and complicated.
yeah.
But gin is actually practically possible, where you can have your own little 2-litre copper pot still on like a little electric heated plate, and you redistill your own gin. And you can literally just pick your own little botanicals and macerate your own and redistill your own gin. It's it's great fun.
Excellent.
And you can literally tailor it to whatever you like. So that is something I'm looking into for doing next year, where you can literally
I can
make
see
your
a
own
good Christmas
gin, but-
present that is.
Yeah.
To come to a distillery session. Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be a whole series of stuff we'll do for that, and then we'll also do like food specials for things like Burns Night and for example like Valentine's and all sorts of things like that. And we'll release it on the website and on socials. We'll do like a quarterly events thing that we'll be doing.
So remember to get booked in, John.
Book yourself in if you want to go and do some distilling or some tastings.
That sounds like a great idea.
It'll be good fun. It'll be good fun. They're not meant to be formal things. They're meant to be fun and engaging and just a bit. A bit of knowledge and a bit of tasting.
Well, it's something different again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great idea.
Well, the chairman of our village hall, who's an ex-police lady, she's into gins, and for the last 2 or 3 years we've had a gin festival, and she does 6 sample gins. It's a very popular night.
Very nice.
You remember.
And no one can remember what happened at the end of it.
We're sitting in
your
members' lounge at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We've had quite a few people ask about this actually. So this isn't a project like I said, I'll be able to start now. We'll do this next year. Right behind you there is a set of 20 lovely looking lockers.
Yeah.
So this members' lounge is going to be an exclusive private area for an absolute maximum of 20 people. And so the concept is you have your very own locker, which you can store your very own bottle of whiskey, rum, gin. It doesn't have to be whiskey. It can be whatever you fancy, but it does have to be premium. It can't just be Captain Morgan's or anything like that. But, so yeah, you obviously buy. We will buy it in for you, and then you can store it in your very own locker. And then the membership will for say like the whole year, and then you can come in here with your friends either pre-meal, post-meal, or you can book off certain special occasions. Say for example it's your birthday or something like that. You can come and use this privately if you fancy, and and just have your own, your own private members.
Your own little space.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Yeah, exactly.
And is the intention to kind of expand the membership to other kind of parts of the Whisky Cafe as well? For example, for maybe the beautiful room you got upstairs.
Oh, the private dining room?
Yeah.
Not really. We might do some sort of like tastings and events up there, but no, the membership will be just this room.
Okay.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, so you mean the private dining room up there? Yeah.
We've had a lot of people ask us about doing Christmas bookings and like large bookings. I'm really sorry to say this side of this Christmas we've not been able to do it, but obviously we are obviously going to be doing like the Christmas bookings.
So it's not going to be like a Masonic Lodge or Rotary where you can be blackballed and not be allowed in. Who chooses who's allowed into the club?
Well, me. That we'll start taking in inquiries, people that do want to have a look at the membership, and so anybody
looking at the room, there's about 12 seats here roughly.
Yeah, so you wouldn't
want more than
you won't
too many people in at one time.
Like on an ordinary basis, we'll just operate it as kind of like a first come first serve, whereby obviously if you have your own locker, you can come in and just use the space. But if it's not available, if it's full, then yes, obviously we just. But then that's the notion of being able to book it off a special date if you want to. Now don't quote me on this now, but obviously you might be able to book off say 3 or 5 dates, for example. Right.
And
you can
you haven't decided on the full.
No, I don't have the
details
exact details on it yet. No, because that's literally what I'm trying to plan out at the minute.
Yeah. I can see it being sought after, can't it, by certain people who want to, I'm a member. I'm a member of the Whisky Cafe. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Only 20 of you?
It's a very exclusive club.
Am I taking this you're interested in joining then?
Perhaps we can develop a secret handshake.
You'll not be asking me for rings now.
Perhaps it could be the exclusive Riverport Radio Club.
Yeah.
It's actually nice.
So we've sort of covered most of the topics we wanted to cover at the moment. I just wanted to say that we've already had a request for someone who wants to come and join in with the podcast. So if you want to be on the Riverport Radio, please contact us. You can contact us by emailing editor@theriverporter.uk. The same as you can reach the editor if you want to put something in the Riverporter newspaper, which is out next Friday again.
Yeah, also there's if you're listening to this podcast, you'll be able to click the send us a text link, which is just above the text of the outline and the detail of the podcast. Send us a text link or message us direct on Facebook. We've got our own Facebook page, Riverport Radio, and you can message us direct on there if you want to be part of the podcast, or as John said, if you want to be featured in the Riverporter paper.
While we got you there, Paul, are you going to give us a little rundown as well of perhaps some music coming up in town in the near future?
Yes, I am indeed, Ron. I'll get to that a bit later, in a segment a bit later in the show, and give you a bit more detail on that later.
Just to point out also that you don't have to listen to the whole podcast, particularly if you're fed up with my voice. You can choose the bits you want to listen to on the actual podcast itself. The chapters in effect are there, and you can click on the bit you want to listen to. But hopefully you're enjoying listening to the podcast, and we'll be back with you in about another week or so.
Yep, that's it, John. That's the plan.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Sam.
No, pleasure.
Sorry, Michael.
Yeah.
The missus will never forgive me. Well, thanks for hosting us, and the best of luck with the Whisky Cafe.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Okay, so let's see what else we've got today. The internet's been wild just recently because, as everybody knows in St Ives, we see the water come up and go down in the river, and we all go down to the quayside and see the swans sitting in the puddles. But this does actually have quite serious ramifications as to what's going on in the area, as there's a lot of negative stuff gets spoken on Facebook. So we're joined this morning by Matthew Setchell, and Matt is actually chair of, remind me Matt, what is it?
It's St Ives Flood Action Group, St Ives Flag for short.
Right, so we're going to have a little chat. We're going to ask you some questions to sort of see what we can do to actually sort of publicise what you do and see how, if we can give that some help. So what do you think? What do you think, John?
Well, it's an opportunity for Matthew to tell us what's actually been happening, because I think one of the issues is that we had the £8 million flood defences put up about, well, it would be about 20 years ago nearly now, wasn't it? 2008?
Yeah, the Hemmingford St Ives flood.
But what seems to be happening, that's stopped the river from flooding the houses, but the rainwater still flooding houses in the town. So Matthew, explain what's happening to us.
So yeah, the Hemmingford and St Ives Flood Alleviation Scheme has done an amazing job in stopping fluvial flooding of St Ives. However, there is still some indirect fluvial flooding happening. So for example, Whitecross Road, that is in a low spot. So there's a non-return valve on the river that when the river's at a certain level, the surface water, i.e. rainwater, can go down the drain, out onto the river, happy days. What happens is when the river's high, that non-return valve either works and stops the river water from going into the drain, or doesn't work and the river floods the road. This weekend, it was the latter, and we know that because the river got to a certain height, the road flooded, the river dropped to a certain height, and the road cleared. So
it emptied more or less straight away. In unison with the river.
Yeah. And this time round, the Waits didn't flood, whereas last time it did flood. Right. And we had a lot more rain in the town last time. Okay. So I suspect the Waits non-return valve is working.
Right.
And it stopped, because obviously what happens is not only does it stop the water coming up the drain, but it also stops
Because
the
it
water
going-
out of the drain as well.
You can't get out because the river's full and it's basically shut the gate.
Exactly,
The
yeah.
door, yeah.
So we're currently fighting for a pumping plan to be created, and as a result of a meeting between the Anglia Water, HDC, County Council, Ben, the new MP, not last Friday, the Friday before, Anglia Water have agreed to help us look into that option further. So
it's a pump. Where would that go?
So the pumps would go on the upstream side of the non-return valves,
Right.
of which there's 5 in St Ives. So we'll have mobile pumps, and then depending on where, because
not just one pump, then it's lots of pumps.
we'd probably have a couple of pumps.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because we could move them around. Because
I see.
it depends.
Yeah.
We'd Whitecross, for example.
Yeah.
If it was raining and then stopped raining for a couple of hours, we could go empty that and then go somewhere else and move that one around. So we wouldn't necessarily need permanent pumps in place.
Right.
Obviously, if this issue became more consistent and more regular, then we'd look at permanent pumping solutions. But for the moment, I don't think we need that. I think we could get away with a temporary solution.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
And obviously there's talk of potentially Gifford's Farm being area which is the other side of the Somersham
Yeah,
Road.
1,700 properties.
I mean that would only exacerbate the situation.
It's certainly not going to help it, no.
And is there a talk of a sluice gate that isn't working properly, or some sluice gates in between the locks?
Yeah, so
St
St Ives Staunch has a number of sluices not working. Some of them are just completely shut, can't be opened. And this time round, for whatever reason, the lock wasn't opened pre the flooding, so the lock was also shut during the recent flood event as well.
Did that make the flooding worse in St Ives then? 'Cause it couldn't flow
Well,
past.
if you look at the river levels, upstream and so upstream St Ives and downstream, upstream has resumed to normal, below normal.
Right.
It is now normal. St Ives is still high and is gradually gradually reducing, but nowhere near as quickly as the upstream sluices. So you read that into that what you will.
Right. So these sluices that aren't working, can't open or whatever, this is it's 70 grand or something that's needed to fix them, is that right? It's just a number I've heard.
Yes, so the EA asked for £70,000 last year for remedial work, for maintenance work, and they got 7.
Yeah, and that's not enough.
And that's
And the thing is that they've been trying to argue that the fact that the sluices don't all work properly, they've been able to use the lock to allow water to find its level. But of course that's impacted on all the boaters. The boaters haven't been able to move their boats around this year. Been very few boats that have made it to St Ives, and the few that have, people have hired boats in March, say, and come up the river, and they get to St Ives and then find they can't get back because the locks have not been working either here or at Erith. It's been a big problem, and it's just a total lack of investment in the infrastructure.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's going to get worse before it gets better, I think. We need serious investment. It's not 80 grand, it's 7 figures that really need spending. But unfortunately, the way the EA calculator works is it's based on the amount of properties that are flooded. So they don't care about roads flooding, they don't care about people not being able to get in and out of their houses. All they care about is that property flooded, yes or no, and is the basement. So basements aren't included in that. So if a basement floods, that doesn't count, because that's groundwater potentially.
Yeah, because you were saying today, Ronnie, there's on the quay there's a number of basements that have been flooded.
Yes,
the Ollie was one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel sorry for those with basements by the river edge there, because when it does this and the river comes up quickly, their basements are completely flooded, and we're aware of one property which actually has over a metre of water in his in his basement every time this happens.
Yeah.
So when you learn that perhaps it's because somebody didn't open the lock gate or whatever, this is perhaps you can understand them being upset.
Yeah, I'd probably take a little pinch of salt because the river level, it's groundwater, so we do need to be quite careful there because the Ooze Cottage, for example, their problem is definitely down to a non-return valve. The water's coming in. He's got a non-return valve in his garden, and there's water coming in. Basements next to the river. When you buy a property, you kind of got to expect that you're going to get damp.
This is water coming up through the ground that's doing it, rather than direct from the river. And obviously, I would imagine that this particular cellar over the years has quite often flooded, and it's not something new.
Yes, I mean the properties there all along there are really ancient houses. They've been there a very long time. So there's nothing that's going to be new in that sense. But it's just, I think it'd just be nice for them to actually know that somebody's looking at it and trying to do something about it.
Yeah, certainly there is a fight for getting St Ives staunch operating back to when it used to, as part of the NRA. They had a regular maintenance programme.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
One of the issues, obviously, is it's in a way the investment in the river defences that were put in back in 2008 have actually exacerbated some of the issues, because that has prevented houses flooding from the river. So the EA now say, well, we don't need to do anything because very few houses are affected from the river. But actually, we do want them to do something for all the other issues. I mean, but the EA are going to, they haven't got a lot of money, so what little money they get isn't sufficient to cure the problem. And no amount of boaters being put about is going to be enough to worry the EA.
It's quite. I mean, a few months ago now, they held a meeting at the Corn Exchange, and they managed to get the whole meeting into uproar within the first few sentences by pointing out that they were aware that the collateral damage happens on occasion, but that's basically too bad. Those people that had the problem were very quickly on their feet. But
it is a tough one because the people it affects very deeply and badly.
Businesses like Compass Cars, for instance,
and High Cell Direct,
and then Ray Laurie Wilson, they keep getting flooded their factory unit.
High Cell luckily have been able to put a flood wall around their building, but that then potentially just moves the problem. It's fixed the problem.
Worked.
That's worked.
But
in 2020, I think it was £3.5 million worth of insurance claim. Not just a High Cell, that's across that we're just aware of. And the EA calculator doesn't account for that. They just look at it's 4 properties or 5 properties, whatever. And in my opinion, that. I kind of get that calculator with my business hat on. I kind of get that. So trying to find ways to make it commercially viable. Someone's got to pick up the tab.
It doesn't matter about taxes. I mean, if the EA only respond, I know this because I live out in the countryside, Hamilton Way, and there's only really 3 houses that are affected by flooding in Hamilton. One happens to be mine. But further down the road in Auchenbury, there's 60 to 100 houses that get affected depending on how high the Auchenbury Brook gets. Well, that's sufficient for them to do something about it, but people in Hamilton get nothing.
Well, Auchenbury are very fortunate that they have an amazing flood action group. Charles and Co. Is phenomenal. Love him. He's doing such great work. However, they have got space to build ponds. They've got lots of toys that they can dig holes with. They've got an amazing community because it's in their interest.
Yes, absolutely.
Whereas in St Ives, we do have an amazing community that does pull together, but we don't have anywhere to send them. The only place we can send our water to currently is the river.
Yes.
You know, we don't. You know, unless we start doing land reclamation, the town itself has nowhere to send its water.
So Matt, thanks for coming in and talking to us about this. As an action group yourself, anybody that's concerned, that's got genuine concerns, is there somewhere they can contact you, or can they join the group? Is there something they can do to get involved?
Yeah, so there's a Facebook page, St Ives Action. That's our main method of communicating. We don't have a website at the moment. It's either Facebook or email.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio. Well, thanks to Matthew Setchell there for talking to us today and giving us such detailed information on flooding in and around St Ives. For more information and to get involved, please visit St Ives Action Support Team on Facebook. And now, as an extension of our earlier interview with Michael and Sam Purchase, I caught up with some members of the team who work at the Whisky Cafe for their take on this exciting new venue in St Ives.
Right, okay, so Lewis, you're the bar manager here at the Whisky Cafe.
Yep.
Tell me a bit about yourself and how you came to join the team here.
Yeah, so I've been sort of in and around the industry since I was around 14, 15, and then sort of went towards cocktail bars at 18 and completely fell in love with it. Then, as everything turns into a bit of a journey, and went to Norfolk and then back to Hitchin, and then on to Australia for a few months as well, where I was working out there. Came back and sort of had a bit of a pit stop just in a little sort of local family pub just while I was looking for something I really wanted to do, and then sort of came across this opportunity and was lucky enough and somehow convinced them to employ me. So I started for the company, the Whisky Cafe, just early October. I was doing a bit of stuff for them beforehand, but officially started then. So before we actually opened, I was sort of putting together the drinks menus and the products lists, obviously with the help of Sam, and we were sort of doing that together. Quite a stressful month, sort of compacting a whole all the menus and getting the bar set up and ready, and what do we need, what do we not need.
So how long have you been open now? Is it 3 weeks you've been open now?
A month on Sunday. So just over a month now.
And you had kind of that period of condensed sort of putting it all together just before the opening, obviously. So at that time it was just me and head chef James, who had been with them for a little bit longer. So it was just me, him, like Alison, Michael and Sam, and then the sous chefs came in, so then James had a little bit of support with him, and then I've known him since I was 11, and I managed to poach him from where he was, Dan, the assistant restaurant manager. I pulled him in and on board, and so he sort of helped me with the wine side of things, because he's got his level 3 in W set. He lives and breathes wine, and it's quite nice with him. Like, we both found our love in cocktails, but then I very much went spirits and he went wine. So sort of together we're a bit of a dynamic duo when it comes to bar and sort of just alcohol in general. It's a real good team.
Exactly. And then he's just an absolute wizard with front of house service. So he's been a great help. Like, him and Joe have been doing an amazing job out on the floor. Just sort of keeping on top of service and sort of giving the people the sort of service that we're wanting to give them.
Excellent.
So it was quite an intense month, but we got through it, and we got the list together, got the products in, and
you're still standing after nearly a month.
Somewhat, more of a light crouch at the moment, but getting through Christmas. Looking forward to we've got a week off in January, and I feel like I'm just going to hibernate for a little bit and just sort of just relax and chill out.
Well, it's the same with any new business, especially someone like this that's so new to the town, but such a kind of prestigious venue. You're going to attract a lot of people in here, which you obviously have done. And how's it been going for you?
It's been going. I think it's been a bit of a surprise. I think we knew people were going to get. It's a brand new shiny building. inside of what used to be an old local. So you get all of the people that used to come to the Robin Hood before it was the Whisky Cafe. Like, I feel like I have an exact blueprint in my head, even though I never saw the building, simply because everyone coming in telling me this was here, that was there. But I think a few main surprises were how much everyone's loving the cocktails. I think people were coming because it was new, and now people are coming because the drinks and the food are so good. But also the whiskey. Obviously, we're called the Whisky Cafe, but it wasn't just that whiskey selling, but it was the range of whiskies. When I put the list together, I wanted to hit all the regions, and some world whiskies, some Japanese whiskies, a good range of American whiskies, but obviously predominantly Scotch in all the different Scottish regions. And I knew whiskey was going to shift. I knew it was going to sell, but we've sold every single one of our whiskies. Brilliant. Like, there hasn't been a single one that hasn't sold, and that was what's completely surprised me, because obviously coming in, you want people to be interested and try something different and try something new and engage in conversation with you about it. But I never really expected it to the level that people have. So you've got people coming in trying stuff that they've never heard of, or a regional country that they've never tasted before. And so it's been really, really lovely to be able to connect with people over that and engage in that conversation, and them to actually, you see them coming back the next week to try something different. And
that's largely a testament to you, because I've seen you in action at the bar there, and we've been here many times, and I've seen your enthusiasm overflows, which is brilliant, whether it's cocktails or wines or whiskies or whatever it is you're talking about. And that's testament to you and your team there.
I think we're... So I could not be happier and more lucky with the team. Like me, Dan and Joe and Sam, we have these conversations all the time where it's like, not only is our team wanting to work, but they're so enthusiastic, and they want it to go well, and they want it to succeed, and you can feel that energy when you come in. And
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
I've always been a massive believer in, like, actually doing hospitality. Like, everyone calls it hospitality, but not a lot of people are very hospitable sometimes.
I know exactly what you mean.
Which is quite strange. But so and it was very eye-opening when I was working in Australia, because their hospitality out there is leagues above anything I've ever seen in the UK. Like,
so you were involved in a similar...
I was a bartender out in Sydney, in a place called the Baxter Inn, which was a whiskey bar and a cocktail bar, and it was an amazing experience. But it was really, like, hospitality was what they lived and breathed out there, and it was properly hospitable. And to be able to take an ounce of that and bring it over here and sort of not only do it myself, but then see everyone else I work with or train doing it as well. It's just, I can see myself, if I was a customer, constantly coming back here, because it's an atmosphere and it's a feeling. And not only is the place absolutely stunning and beautiful, when you feel welcomed and you feel wanted to be there, like, regardless of what you do or where you come from, like, that is just something, like, at risk of sounding a bit cringy, magical.
No, but it is, and you know, I know Joe I've known Joe for years. From when you walk in the door and Joe kind of welcomes you front of house, and the service is quite amazing here, and we've been here many times since it opened, and that atmosphere that has been created with all of you, and that enthusiasm and that wonderful service, it's a testament to all you guys, and there is nothing to touch it anywhere around it, which is brilliant.
And it's like you touching on Jo, and it's like, she's like, I've never seen someone deal with and talk to and be with customers the way that she is. Like, she's just like you'd never have met her before, but you'd feel like she's your long lost friend that you haven't spoken to in 5 years. And what I really love about the venue is the dynamic between so obviously we have the upstairs, which is the dining room, which is strictly just eating, and then the downstairs, which you can eat and people do eat down there, but it's more for drinkers. And on, like, a Friday, Saturday night, the dynamic between the upstairs and the downstairs, where upstairs you have your nice, definitely not fine dining, but like sort of higher standard dining where it's proper service and like more sit down, more chill, and just enjoy your food. And then you have downstairs where there's just a real lively energy, and you see me and Ben on the bar just running around like headless chickens making drinks. It's you sort of get the best of both worlds. Like, and even so, say if you came in for a meal, ate upstairs, and then came downstairs, you'd almost feel like you're in two different venues a lot of the time. Right?
But it's great. We were here for a little sort of company to do with the Riverport or in the Riverport radio, and that was last Thursday, and we experienced exactly that. So we had a lovely meal upstairs, a lovely atmosphere, it was full up there, and then I was kind of doing a reconnoitre from upstairs because we wanted to come downstairs and have a drink at the bar, or around the bar, but it was still packed. But the atmosphere was fantastic, and so when there was a table free, I said to the guys, well, let's all go downstairs and have a drink, in that in the bar. And the atmosphere, again, as you say, the best of both worlds. You've got a beautiful area upstairs, and then downstairs to the bar, and the atmosphere just carried on for an hour and a half or whatever. It's just fantastic. Yeah. So you've all done amazingly well there creating.
No, and I mean, I wouldn't be on standing on two legs without Ben, my bartender, because he's like. But the crazy thing about him, and just to give him a bit of a shout out, because he'd never touched a cocktail shaker a month ago, or just over a month ago now. He came from sort of similar story to me. Like, his family was in and around hospitality, so he sort of grew up working in pubs with his mum and stuff like that. So he had the service side down and the being behind a bar, but he'd just never done cocktail bartending, and he's taken to it like no one I've ever seen before. And like you'd see him even like on that Thursday. Obviously, I'm not here on Thursdays, and you see him on the bar. You would never think, you would have thought that he'd had official like proper training, because he's just absolutely amazing now. And without him by my side on the Fridays and Saturdays, we would just be going down every day. But he's been absolutely hustling, and we have such a great chemistry together on that bar that is just a great fun. The customers love it. One of the other surprises was I really wanted people to love sitting up at the bar, and that's happened. Like you have people essentially fighting over bar seats sometimes, like because they want to sit up at the bar, interact with us, and it's all a show, and it's all very theatrical, making drinks and cocktails when it's done right.
That's another great thing. Basically, since COVID, I think you used to be able to sit at a bar in loads of different pubs and places, and you can't sit at a bar anywhere apart from here now, which is great. But it's, again, the atmosphere that is created out there with the surroundings and the team that you have working with you and Joe and everybody, it just creates a lovely kind of intimate atmosphere within that kind of that area, which is it really works well.
And I mean, it's like one of there's sort of two quotes that I've heard too many times here, and one of those is, oh, you wouldn't think that this is the Robin Hood, and then the other one is, oh, you wouldn't think that we're in St Ives, it doesn't feel like we are. And it's so it just is just testament to Sam, Alison and Michael for the place that they've put together, and then just the team in general, because you can make a place look great, but you've got to fill it with people who will make it do their due diligence to the place itself, and I feel like the team do that day in, day out, and just do an absolutely amazing job with it as well. So.
Would you say Michael and Alison put a wonderful place together? But it's the team that then
brings it alive.
Creates that experience that people want to come back and visit, and obviously the food is a big part of that as well.
I've never worked with a team of chefs that are as one amazing and two just friendly. They're just and never would I thought I'd be sitting here going, oh, they're the friendliest chefs I've ever met in my life, but they generally are. I've worked with a lot of different chefs, and it's a rarity to find one nice chef in the kitchen, let alone every single one of them that are just really lovely. They care just as much as everyone else does. They're not just looking to get the food done and out. They really love and are passionate about what they do. So seeing them and being able to work with them is just truly an honour, because it feels like in every venue I've worked in, there's always a divide between front of house, back of house. But here we're one unit.
It's one team.
Exactly. And just being in that environment, for us just allows everyone to just do their best and not feel like they're hitting their head against a wall. We will listen to them, they'll listen to us, so it just works really well.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Excellent. So you've got Christmas coming up, obviously, and the festive season. I know you're shut Christmas Day, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And what have you got planned sort of in between now and then? Is it just, I guess, more full-on restaurant and bar? The place is pretty much booked up, isn't it?
We'd all agreed that we weren't really going to do much this Christmas, just simply because obviously we opened November 8th. Like, it was such a quick turnaround to get this place, not just on our side, but just on the people building the place as well. It was such a quick turnaround, so we were like, we'll hold off for this year, and then next year will sort of be, for lack of a better term, the first Christmas that we'll do here, where we'll actually do Christmas parties and like, because we threw the idea around about doing ticketed events for like New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve and stuff like that, but obviously it's way too late to do them. So this year is just going to be a more come in for some nice food, some nice drinks, nothing too crazy, nothing too organised, just like any typical weekend service. And then next year, that's when we can really hit the ground running and do some really like fun and cool and interesting stuff.
And of course you've got the beautiful private dining room upstairs as well, which is a fabulous area, and I'm sure
that table's massive, isn't it?
I'm sure you've had lots of people wanting to book that for their Christmas dues this year, but of course, as you say, it was so near Christmas opening, it wasn't time to get all that
exactly. It would have just been way too much, or we just wouldn't have done it 100% right. And I think we're all on the same page where you either do it properly or you don't do it at all. So it's really nice to be able to like do that and not be like, oh well, figure out a way to do it no matter what happens. Like, so it's really nice that we've been given the time to sort of
get everyone
going, get settled, get ready, and then just from I'll probably be planning it from January next year, really going forward. So
that's excellent. All right, well, thanks so much, Lewis, for dropping in and having a chat. You're going to feature on this Friday's podcast, and I believe if you can spare them just for a few minutes, we're going to get Leah.
Yeah, I'll go and steal them away and tell them to come in here.
Leah and Lucy, isn't it?
Exactly that, Leah and Lucy.
If you wouldn't mind, that's great. And thanks, Lewis, very much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Lovely.
Nice one. Yeah, I'll pause. Are we resuming? Yes, we are resuming. There you go. So I'm here now with Leah and with Lucy, who work for Lewis as part of the Whisky Cafe bar and front of house team. Is that right? So thanks for joining us, and it's really good that you've come in and so we can have a chat. And the idea is to just get a more of a personal view of you guys and how you're finding it here. And Leah, if I can start with you, where were you before this and how did you kind of get to be here?
So I was working at a local village pub in Brampton, the Black Bull.
Okay.
And I'd sort of been there for a year and a half. I was sort of looking to leave, do something a bit more upbeat, because I did a bit of travelling, and it's something I want to do in the future, and I was like, I want a bit of stability while I'm saving up, and then saw about this place on Indeed, and then applied, went for my interview, and I spoke to Jo on the phone, and she was so lovely, and I was like, I felt it was right, and it was nice, and then I sort of, with the training and everything, met everyone, and I was like, I'm going to stay.
So have you been like everyone else, were you kind of involved, obviously people like James and maybe Lewis were involved early doors, putting the menus together and stuff like that. What point did you join the team? Was it kind of a week before or 2 weeks before open?
It was a week before open. I think Lucy, which was the first person I met, we came in for the training. Had a few days that was showing us around the building. James went through the menus with us. We spoke about a lot of allergens, very detailed. Obviously, because there's a lot of things on the menu that I've never heard before. And we went through it all. Lewis did a full run of the bar. Took a few hours of his time to go through it all. I learned a lot in the training to sort of help us feel confident with starting, because everything's completely new.
Of course,
But it was quite comforting with the sort of the fact that everyone was new.
Yeah.
We've spoken about it quite a lot, said that it was really comforting because you're not the only new person, and it's quite nice to be there from the start.
Do you think that's helped with the team? Lewis just said about and Sam said about the team when we interviewed him earlier. Do you think that's helped with the kind of team spirit rather than have, as you just said, everyone new together, you're all in this new venture?
Yeah, massively.
Does that help that you've all done it together?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. So we sort of like all learn together.
Yeah.
And I think it's also helpful that our managers are so great. We are lucky that we've got Lewis and Joe.
Yeah.
And they've made it very clear to us from day one that everything is a learning curve.
Yes.
And if a mistake is made, nobody's berated for anything. It's a learning experience. You might be like, but they help you learn how to avoid that in the future.
No, exactly right.
And they're mistakes as well, and it makes you see that they are also human. They're not just a manager pointing a finger.
Yeah, and that's what you need. It's that kind of collaborative approach, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, that works.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
And so, Lucy, what about yourself? Where did you come from before this, and why did you join the team?
So I was at uni. I graduated in July from Lancaster, and during my breaks at uni, I was doing weddings in Essex. So very, very different experiences to here.
As in, you were catering weddings and things like that?
Yeah, so I worked at 2 different venues. One was just bar stuff, and then the other one was waitressing and bar, so full silver service dining and stuff like that. It's a very, very different experience to what you do here when you actually get to talk to guests. That is like you don't get to talk to them. You just take an order.
You haven't got time, just go.
Going from that's a high pressure environment. I would say here's very high pressure, but it's a lot calmer because you have the full team. And at my old jobs, we were all young. Everyone was about 16, 18, all the same age. So it's a very, very different job.
Yeah.
But all the bar experience has all helped me to get along here pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how have you found it since you've been here? Do you feel that sense of team as well?
Definitely. I wasn't the best. I wasn't fully trained on working bar, and I was meant to be a bit of both front of house and bar staff, and Lewis has taken me under his wing a little bit and helped me train everything. So on days like this, we'll work on your shaking technique or your pouring technique and everything like that, and it all helps.
So you both work on the cocktails as well?
So I'm not actually on the bar yet.
You're more front of house?
I've been doing front of house. I did a lot of bar experience at my old place.
Yeah.
But I spoke to Lewis and he said they would train me up in the future, but they wanted to get a stronger team to start with, especially in the early days, because you need that bit of consistency and then start to bring more of us in.
Of course.
So that's something I'll be doing in the future.
Excellent.
But I know she's smashing it.
Yeah.
3 years of, especially everyone you serve at a wedding is there just to get drunk. It's quite nice to actually get to make some cocktails and people enjoy them, rather than just down
until they fall over. But not here. Yes,
definitely.
And what do you think the kind of environment here that's been created? You know, it's a lovely space that Michael and Alison have created. And what do you think of the kind of atmosphere that it brings, you know, that sort of for people coming back, or people coming for the first time and people coming back?
So some especially open week, some people obviously testing out a new place, and they've all realised that the food's great, the drinks are great, the staff are great, the environment is such a positive one that everyone keeps coming back for more. Everyone seems to love it. It's the best way to describe it. Everyone
We've already got a lot of regulars.
Well, that's perfect, you know, and I'm included in that. We've been here, I think, 4 times in the last week, apart from when we're sort of doing what we're doing today. But it does feel like a special place that's been created, and also all the staff feel like we talk about being together in a team and all of that, but it really comes across. And I was saying to Lewis, it really comes across from the moment you walk in and Joe greets you in front of house. Fantastic. And then you all look after us so well when we're here. It's a wonderful experience, and that's what you guys all make it, that experience. So you must be quite proud of how it feels, you know, so far. It's early days, but it must feel good to you. It
is, especially because I was looking for a fresh start, and it has been. It's gone above and beyond of what I thought it would be and what I thought I needed. And it's nice, and I feel like with having Dan and Lewis, who are very knowledgeable of what they're doing. So like Lewis, he could talk for hours about. He knows a lot. He knows a lot, and I feel like we really be given opportunity to learn from them. And Dan, if he's a wine sommelier, it's nice to have very knowledgeable people with a lot of experience in doing everything, and they won't ever get us to do something they wouldn't do themselves, which is nice, because I've been in places before where it's not like that. And I guess
it's working well.
It's going very well.
And so, given that you've been in the thick of it for nearly a month now, I think it's a month on Sunday, Lewis said, is that right?
Yeah, a month on Sunday.
Yeah, so Christmas, you're going to crawl in your way to Christmas and New Year. I know you're shut Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then open up again for the New Year. And then you're going to have a spell of holiday, I believe, in the New Year at some point.
They're doing a week off in January to sort everyone's holiday out. We've got a staff night booked.
We're having a staff night.
I bet,
Very excited.
I think it's been nice. I think everyone gets on so well. Everybody's putting a lot of work in. So we were all starting off, we were told we were doing like 20-hour contracts, and I've been doing 50-hour weeks. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's everything and above.
It's the fact that we've known each other for a month, like all of us. It feels like we've known each other for years, because the communication's spot on from day one, and everyone just gets along like a house on fire. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is.
And it's great having that buzz. I mean, I've had myself in different businesses and different things. That buzz of getting something off the ground, it's huge, isn't it? And you get a team of people together like yourselves, and to deliver that and keep it going, through a really busy spell.
It's great that everyone gets along so well, because it shows for the customers as well, and they all seem to join in, especially a conversation. If we're saying something, they'll join in, especially at the bar. They'll all join, have a little chat with us, have a laugh, and it is really nice that everyone just feels at home here
and relaxed.
Definitely,
especially when you're dancing behind the bar there.
So they're playing the right music.
We like to keep moving.
It's brilliant. Well, thanks very much for popping in and having a chat.
No worries.
This will be on the podcast this Friday, so along with the rest of the promotion that we're doing for Whisky Cafe.
Wonderful.
So Leah and Lucy, thank you very much for joining us.
Much.
And enjoy the rest of your sort of festive period.
I'm sure we will.
And I'm sure you'll look forward to your week off and your staff do.
Definitely. It'll be so fun.
Can't wait.
Thanks very much for dropping in.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
That's all great stuff, Paul. But just got to sort of say, because these are our first broadcasts with our new podcast, and you've been doing a brilliant job getting all these platforms now actually carrying our words from sunny St Ives all over the world, and it appears that we've got a few quite distant listeners. Is that right? You've picked up a couple of quite foreign cousins.
Yes, we have indeed. We're now I'm delighted to say we're now on 3 continents. We are being listened to in California, Portland, Oregon, and most recently Malaga in Spain. So quite fantastic, and as you'd expect, the majority of the listeners are in St Ives, but there's a lot of listeners in Huntingdon, and indeed all over the UK. So it's fantastic that people are listening in. And what would be great to find out for those who are listening is what, if you're outside of the St Ives area, what is your connection with St Ives? That would be a really good thing to find out. And if you would like to contact us, we've got our own Facebook page for Riverport Radio. You can message us direct on there, or of course you can write to the Riverporter, and let us know where you are listening from and why you are listening in. What is your connection with St Ives? We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So just to repeat that, that's the riverporter.uk for anything which is email or just sending us messages. Riverporter.uk. That will get us there, and Riverport Radio, just research that on any of your podcast platforms.
You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio. So, time for a quick look at some events coming up in St Ives over the festive period. Obviously, being St Ives, there's a lot going on. Way too much to list here, so check out all the local venues' Facebook pages to see what's on where. A couple of events to highlight though, one at the Corn Exchange and one at the Nelson's Head. Okay, Ron, so you're in a band called the Tomb Raiders, and you play kind of a lot of blues, that sort of music, and you're featuring, I believe, at the Corn Exchange on the 11th of January.
Yeah, sure. It's great to have an opportunity to plug it quickly, although I do think we've nearly sold all the tickets now. But yes, the Tomb Raiders will be back playing blues songs, very much guitar-led stuff. Eric Clapton, Joe Bonamassa, a little bit of J.J. Cale, Santana, this sort of thing. Just for the evening, it's one of those nice laid-back evenings in the Corn Exchange Riverport bar, where people can just sort of get a nice glass of wine and sort of kick back and listen to some of the work of our two guitarists, Richard and Phil, who do a brilliant job. So we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I remember we went last time. That was a brilliant gig. So there may be a few tickets available?
Maybe. It has to be done online through the ticket source thing. But this is one of those events where we're really trying to support the Corn Exchange. Corn Exchange has had a tough old year, so to get lots of people in there and get them all lined up at the bar, it all looks good. And, it's what they need. So fingers crossed we'll have a great night. Let's hope the weather holds up for us outdoors. And
are you going to do, I seem to remember you did a fabulous Joe Cocker song last time you were there. Which was
I've been asked to do it again. So, yes, there'll be a bit of me doing that. It's in a past existence, I used to do quite a lot of Joe Cocker and tracks from the Animals and that sort of thing. So, that'll be coming back out the
locker.
Back out the locker as well.
And here's a short clip of the Tomb Raiders playing some laid-back blues.
Right, well, here we are back, and Paul, I've got to sort of quiz you this time because you've got your New Year's Day event coming up, which I know you held at the Nelsons in Maryland's there. Now, you've done this for a few years now, so how long's this been going on? And tell the listeners a bit more about it.
Yeah, sure, Ron. Yeah, so it's coming up New Year's Day. It's called the New Year's Day Hangover Party. And it's actually got to a point, it's so popular that people are saving themselves on New Year's Eve so they can enjoy the hangover party even more. And it's always been a fundraising event. We've raised a lot of money for British Heart Foundation. We're currently raising and again are raising for Macmillan Cancer Support this year. And I normally release a Christmas single, which you will have heard in our intro, and we'll be playing one of those Christmas singles on the outro of this podcast.
Oh yes, we've got to have a bit of a touch of that.
Bit of the jingle bells going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, last year, for example, we between the Christmas single and the New Year's Day hangover party itself, we raised over £1,300. But over the years it's been going on, which is about 4 years, we've raised £4,000 or £5,000 for various charities. So it's a great way to start the New Year's Day anyway, because it's a real kind of sing-along party set in the afternoon at Nellie's, 3:30 to 6:30, and it also raises a lot of money for charity. So it's a great way, as we say on the poster, it's the only way to spend New Year's Day.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you, listeners, that the last few years I've been there and I've had a great time doing this, and it's, as Paul says, it's more fun than New Year's Eve. It's mainly because I don't actually smarten myself up. I look like a wreck and just live like that.
Yeah, but everyone who comes along loves it. So yeah. And a bit of the history behind that, when I first approached Andrew, who's the landlord in Nelson's Head, about doing this. It was because we hadn't long moved to St Ives, and we were kind of, everyone had a brilliant festive season, and New Year's Eve and everything, and then we got to New Year's Day and nothing was happening in the town, and it was kind of weird to us, that nothing was happening in such a sociable town. And so I had the idea, because I'd seen it somewhere else years ago, about having a New Year's Day party. And I went to Andrew, the landlord, and I said, Andrew, I've got this great idea. How about we do a New Year's Day party in the afternoon on New Year's Day? And he said, well, you must be mad. No one's going to come out on New Year's Day. They're all going to be sort of hungover from the night before. And I said, that's exactly the point of it. New Year's Day hangover party. And he said, it's for charity. I don't want any money. I'll play for nothing. We'll just raise as much as we can for the charity. And he said, well, if you want to do it, that's fine, if that's what you want to do. He said, but I'll tell you, no one will come. And the funny thing is, we packed the place out, absolutely packed, and it's been packed ever since.
It has. It's been packed ever since, and it's such a nice atmosphere with everybody really getting into it, and a few dancers having a go there, and everybody really enjoying it and talking about what they've been up to, and it's great event. So anybody, if you're around to be able to call in at the Nelson's Head on New Year's Day, any time from about 3:00 would be absolutely perfect. But great day, look forward to that, Paul.
Yeah, I look forward to that as well, mate. So, thanks for listening in to our first festive podcast here on Riverport Radio. You're listening to Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio.
Riverport Radio. On behalf of the Riverport Radio team, we'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a healthy and happy New Year. Now, as promised, we'll play you out with the full version of my Christmas single, the one we started the show with, Be My Baby Again This Christmas. Until next time, thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Mistletoe is everywhere, Christmas lights and Christmas fair, presents under every tree, but that won't mean a thing to me, unless you'll be my baby again this Christmas. Come back, baby. Mistletoe is everywhere, Christmas lights and Christmas fair, presents under every tree, but that won't mean a thing to me. I was wrong and I hurt you so. Now I just want you to know, I'd give anything to see you beside my Christmas tree. Come back, baby, I miss you. I'm waiting here to unwrap you. Come back, baby, I love you so. Won't you be my baby? Be my baby. Be my baby again this Christmas. Be my baby. Come back. Don't you know I'm hurting so bad without you? Won't you be my baby again this Christmas? Be my baby. Come back. Don't you know I'm feeling so sad without you, baby? Christmas carols fill the air, people spreading Christmas cheer. Nothing they can sing or say can brighten up my Christmas day. All I do is think of you. I wonder, do you miss me too? Every time the doorbell rings, I live in hope you'll come on in. Come back, baby, I miss you. I'm waiting here to unwrap you. Come back, baby, I love you so. Won't you be my baby? Be my baby. Be my baby again this Christmas. Be my baby. Come back. Don't you know I'm hurting so bad without you? Won't you be my baby again? won't you be my baby again this Christmas? Be my baby. Come back. Don't you know I'm feeling so sad without you?